Evening, guys. Welcome to the call. We're so excited. There's so many new starters. We have just had so much growth. So first and foremost, welcome to the team. We are so glad you've joined us on this incredible journey and in this incredible business. Great timing and fantastic team that you've joined as well. We would say that, of course. So I'm Chanel Fry.
And I'm Terry.
You might not have even heard of us before. So just as a very brief overview, we are 4-star directors. So we are, of course, independent travel agents as well, but we are also 4-star leaders. We are the European leaders for Planet Marketing. We have, reached a point where we're earning multiple 6 figures a year from this business in just 2 years. We love it. We absolutely love it. It's a very family business. Our son loves it. My mum's joined the business, and we just love being able to share it with so many people. So yeah, that's us. We are always available for any help that you might need, obviously after this call as well.
Yeah. A very busy call, so we're filled up, so we might have to end up running and doing another one. But
can we just ask if there's any team on that have already been on a new starters call? So you haven't been in, you have been in the business longer than a month. Could we just ask that you wouldn't mind maybe hopping off? We are recording this, so we'll try and distribute the recording for people, but just to free up some space,
as much space as we can,
the new starters, because there is so many. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I suppose the point of tonight, guys, is not to be giving, we're pointing you in the right direction, basically, of where you can find stuff and the tools and platforms that are at your disposal. Now, I would say one bit of advice for everyone that's just started this business: do not feel overwhelmed by any stretch. What we are great at as a team, and what we've spent the last couple of years encouraging and putting into place, are systems that should allow you to flourish, but also a culture where we encourage everyone to help each other out, basically. So you should never feel like you don't have somewhere to turn if you are want something or help with something. And we're going to tonight show you a few places that you can do that. So if you haven't, you might want to grab a pen and paper just to jot down the stuff we're going to share, and we will give you a bit of a walkthrough and a point through of a few of the websites that you probably would have seen some of, but some of the bits and pieces you might not have done.
Yeah, we just want to clarify where things are for you, answer any questions, and it is more of an orientation so that you can go away feeling confident. Like Terry said, you've got loads of support here, but we also know that this is an independent business that you've started, and we want you to feel confident in that. So this is a good start.
It will take between probably 20 and 30 minutes to fly through the stuff.
Under half
but we will free up some time. We're going to do a Q&A at the end as well. Is that right? Just to answer some questions that come through.
Yeah, we try and get to about 20
So I'm just going to type in that someone couldn't hear. They possibly need to dial back in. Sorry.
So while you're doing that, I'm just going to briefly explain the group. So hopefully you are in all of these groups already, because this is our kind of starting point, really, is our Facebook support group. So you should be in at least 4 groups. You might be in more, because if you have, joined different legs of our team, then their chances are they might have their own team groups as well. But the Travel Tribe as a whole, we have 4 main groups. So the first one I will talk about is the official IntelliTravel group. Now, it's run by corporate. It isn't our team group. It's a company-wide group for the UK market. And in there, you're going to have updates, you're going to have announcements, things like that, sometimes recommendations, but it is led by corporate. So it's really important that all active independent travel agents are in that group. Then we have the main group, which is called the Travel Tribe, which is, we use it for kind of like announcements. If there's events, we are planning a black tie ball next year. We're planning a family fun day for the team. So things like that will always go into that main group called the Travel Tribe. And then we have a group called TTT Travel Group, which is our travel resource group. So I'm sure you're all agents on this call. It's definitely a group that you should be in. It's really valuable. There's so much good stuff in there.
So that, just to give you an idea, that has kind of built up over the last couple of years of people that have come into our team over time.
Yeah.
And it is a great resource for again, like personal recommendations, referrals, questions about travel destinations. It's not a place for like technical issues with IntelliTravel. It's like a travel hub, basically. The best way to use that, by the way, is if you think, oh, I want to ask about, I don't know, Royal Caribbean cruises, for example, or a certain destination, just whack in the search bar of any of these groups, actually, whack in the little search, the magnifying glass at the top of the page, Royal Caribbean or Disney or Mexico, and the likelihood is there has been conversations about it before, but feel free to use that, and there is always people in there giving advice and recommendations and helping each other out.
It's a really valuable group. And then we have one called Go for Gold, which is you'd only be in that if you are team building as well. So if you aren't team building, don't worry about that one. You don't need to be in there. That's training for building a team specifically. If you are, you absolutely need to be in there. There's some amazing content, lives, videos, posts, things to really help you grow that other business that you have. So those are the main groups.
Yeah, they're all Facebook groups. So I'd advise you guys to be in those. And as Chanel said, you may well have been added to other ones, and some of you will have different ones for other people's teams. Just make sure I think they're great resources, all of them, but they're the ones that we sort of run from our level, basically. They are moderated and have admin on them. So if you ever get people say to you, if you have a team ultimately, oh, well, I'm waiting for something to get approved, don't fret. There are a team of people that admin those groups, and it typically takes no longer than 15 minutes, maybe half an hour at a max, to either approve people into those groups or to check.
Usually it's quicker.
Usually it's quicker.
As a sort of worst case scenario. I think what we'll do at this stage is show you the team website. So hopefully we're going to share our screen. So we're going to turn our camera off for this, because otherwise it freezes on us.
You've put the mockers on it now. You what?
And if you, turn us off.
If I can find the button. Stop video.
Great. So we'll just really briefly talk through this, because again, we could literally spend a couple of hours going through this website. This is our team portal website. It has basically everything you need to start your business on both sides, for travel agents and for reps as well. It is teamtraveltribe.com. That's the website. And then the password is Europe with a capital E 2019. So that's Europe with a capital E 2019. No spaces. Yeah.
Just to add, the reason we did this, guys, was because we are aware that there's a lot of information to take in. So we wanted to create a bit of a hub that you can visit. But do remember, this is for our team only. So in the wider IntelliTravel business, they don't have this, but this is our little tool that we provided for you guys to have.
This is a little extra, and it's really, really useful. And if you are team building as well, of course, you can plug your team into this. So, you've got a resource that can be duplicated as well. So, so those are the details. It's quite self-explanatory. I think, Terry, if you scroll down a bit,
a quick scan through
some recent team promotions, ITA achievements. Actually, we have to update that. There's been so many recent ones.
So much has happened,
So much has happened over the last few weeks. So we will update that.
Just really to celebrate success across the team and maybe get ideas about what people are doing. So Ashley set up a stall at a wedding fair, just stuff in there about what people are doing with their businesses.
Yeah. So then we have the ITA Get Started tab. So if we're hovering over that, you can see here, and the reason we won't click into it is, one, it's going to take ages, two, our computer's quite slow, and also we have got a password protected on every page at the moment. We are going to try and adjust those settings, but unfortunately, without doing that, it was basically open to the public.
It was like, playing Google search results. Or
so we had to kind of lock it down. So I know it's slightly annoying. You have to keep.
Although having said that, if you've got a device or a computer that remembers a password, it will just auto fill it in, so it shouldn't be too much of a pain.
But anyway, we don't need to. It's quite self-explanatory. So the first thing as an ITA, if you haven't already, is to go onto here and go to your first steps. That is literally going to talk you through the groups that we've just talked about, where to find support, all those kind of basics. Then we have a Getting Started guide. So the Getting Started guide essentially is a paper version of what we're doing now. It's a paper version of this website, in fact. So, you know, some agents love to print that off just so that they can have that and they can work through it, cross things off, highlight things. Personally, I love paper and pen. So,
yes,
you know,
you
yeah. Then logging in, this is just a really straightforward tab. It literally talks you through how to log into your portal, into your travel business. And then we move on to some of the really exciting stuff. So, for example, the travel agent training. Now, the travel agent training, if you've already done it, you will know that you have a regulatory training that can take a few hours. You know, sometimes people struggle with that. It isn't difficult, but sometimes the wording can kind of catch people out almost. So please don't suffer in silence. If you're struggling with that training, listen, there are no maximum amount of attempts for that training. So if it takes you, you know, 20 times, I'm sure it won't, but it doesn't matter. It took me a good few times. And like I said, we can help you. So please don't suffer in silence. If you're struggling with that, let your upline or let one of us know. And then we move on to, and also in that tab, it talks about the university training that IntelliTravel provide on the back office. Then we move on to further training and webinars. So obviously this is a really exciting one at the moment because of the kind of launch sort of phase really that we're in at the moment in terms of suppliers. So you're going to have all the kind of brand names that we've had on board recently under that training. You can catch up, and there's just so much knowledge in there for you. And we highly recommend that you, I suppose, think about a niche. If you want to niche, you know, you can book everything, but in our experience, when people decide to sort of niche down on a market and become an expert in certain areas, they do really, really well, because obviously it's easier to market, you know, niches rather than a whole kind of
everything.
Big span of everything. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you can't book everything, but just in terms of your marketing and branding. And we have got training on that, and we have more training to come in the team groups very soon on that. Registering with preferred partners, that's how you would register with, you know, whoever it might be, Carnival Cruises.
Yeah, and I'll cover that on the next tab as well, just when we go into that.
Booking direct with hotels and resorts. You can, in addition to the, you know, literally million plus hotels and resorts that we have on the booking engine, plus the probably millions we have with our suppliers combined, you are allowed to approach directly hotels and resorts that work with travel agents. Now, if you're going to do that, it's absolutely fine, but please follow those instructions underneath that tab, because there is a process.
It's not difficult. It's just to make sure that they are giving you a rate which pays commission.
Yeah, basically. So it's just a simple wording so that you know that you are getting, you're going to earn commission from it. Additional information and training. Again, there's just loads on there that you can plug into. We've got access to kind of third-party travel universities that you can use that are free, that you can do kind of luxury specialist training in, all sorts of stuff. ABTA Knowledge Zone, we are proud members of ABTA. Highly recommend that all agents plug into that and get to know, you know, more about ABTA, what it stands for, why we have it, and be clued up on that front. Announcements, very self-explanatory. Events, loads of events planned for 2020 for the travel business. So really, really excited about everything that's coming up in 2020. Webinars and calls. Again, they're just updated from the supplier webinars, and if we have any of our own team calls focusing on travel. And then team training for ITA. So in addition to all of the corporate training, we have got ITA training that we have provided, that we are continuously developing and working on, and that will all go underneath that tab.
So that's stuff that's from people within the team that are helping out with training on other elements.
And just as some kind of inspiration for you guys, we've got some incredible travel bookers. At the last convention in Glasgow just a couple of months ago, Lisa O'D was awarded with the top seller of travel in the company, and she's in our team. We're really, really proud of everything she's achieved, and we've heard some great successes recently of people booking really substantial trips for their clients. IntelliTravel print shop. You can have your own IntelliTravel merchandise for your business. It's kind of all there ready to go. So if you have a look under that tab, it's very easy. You just add in your details, and I think it's Vistaprint, and then contact and help. So if you need support, obviously outside of kind of the team, there's details there of customer service, the kind of people that you would need to, the right channels for your travel business.
Cool. So we won't go into detail on this because it is very self-explanatory, but yeah, this is an encouragingly growing list. Basically, what we do is, again, to try to save any confusion, is when instructions are released about our new partners, and they're all in there that are getting released, we put them in here so you can find the instructions to follow. Everyone's in there. It is updated regularly when we get that new announcement from a supplier, but it's there for you to find. You can get this in the IntelliTravel back office, but it's a great place to look.
It won't let me scroll down with the tab. It won't let me scroll down with the tab open, but there's more than that. The list goes on, and as we said, that is growing every single week at the moment.
And then this tab is for getting started as a rep. So for the team building stuff, very similar stuff, but just for the other side of the business. So again, first steps in getting started, logging into your Planet virtual dashboard, which we will show you, and then just the other side. So training for reps, information about what to be plugged into. There is a locker room call run by corporate every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I would advise strongly that whether you are just booking travel or you are booking travel and building a team, that it's a great call to be on, because there are often business updates that you will hear about first. Again, more training from the team for reps, and the same stuff, announcements, events, details about opportunity calls that we run, which most of you may have attended.
Just to, if you're making notes, all our opportunity calls are on a Wednesday evening and a Sunday evening at 9 p.m. every week. It's very rare that those have been cancelled. They are very consistent, and
they're on here, same Zoom. You can plug people into them, and
it's this Zoom code, guys,
and we have them different people running those on rotation, basically.
And then on the last Sunday of every month, unless it falls very short in the month, then it might be the first Sunday of a month, but we have an event. Some of you might have attended that, which is a Facebook event where we have lives and people talk about their own journeys with business. All details are in there.
And then this one is just a slide, again, which is changing about where we can recruit or bring people into the business, and a reading list, which we've added to as we've gone, of things that you might find helpful if you are building a team.
Absolutely. And I would just say, if you're an ITA only and the rep, you might not be actually signed up to the team building side, but it interests you. Some people like to take their time with that. That's fine. This content is available for all of you. So there's nothing to stop you going through that training. Ahead of that. That's no worries. So, and then we have team photos, which I will click on because they're great. Just to show you, we have more to update as well, but we mentioned events a couple of times. We have some really big ones lined up for next year, and if you can attend an event, it's not compulsory in the business, but guys, we highly, highly recommend it. You're going to make loads of new friends. The team is amazing. Obviously, it just builds those kind of support networks, and they're really good fun.
Yeah, and some of these are from official events. Some are from just team meetings. Events, we try to include as much in there as we can. These ones are from a fam trip to Madeira. So lots and lots of stuff in there. If you want to have a nose at what people are getting up to.
Yeah, they're really cool. So just very briefly, because we want to try and keep the call under half hour for you, and we do want to do Q&A. So we're just going to, we're not going to delve into this too deep, but here is the IntelliTravel dashboard.
What I would say is we're going to show you and tell you what some of these are, but most of you will have done this, but I'd absolutely encourage you to go into your IntelliTravel back office and click on everything, basically.
Yeah,
press some buttons, have a play with it. Familiarize it with yourself because from the travel perspective, this is where everything sits, is in your IntelliTravel dashboard or back office?
Now, you're going to have this progress bar that comes up all the time. Do not worry about it. It's definitely great to do, but it doesn't actually affect your business. So you can achieve these. The Dream Maker, you need to do your university training here. And you also need to attend one of the Dream Maker events. The next one, I believe, is in October in London. Details are on the team website, actually, so go and have a look. And then you can achieve these other levels. Vacation Builder, I have actually achieved. This needs to update. And then you have Travel Genius. But don't worry about it. You know, it's just a learning program, basically. So very, very quickly, because this is really simple stuff. It's like just using a normal booking engine. You've got car, cruise, flights, hotels, activities and villas. You would just type in the destination, or, you know, if you're in activities, you know, if you wanted, I don't know, Sedgwayne tickets, you would type that in. But for example, hotels, one tip for you, when you are typing in the place name, try and be as specific as possible, because obviously if you type in, you know, I don't know if this
Spain.
Spain is too broad, and you're going to end up it might show no results. And of course we have literally hundreds of thousands in Spain, but it's almost it's too broad, so it overloads. So try and type in, you know, Malaga or wherever it might be specific with your area. So I won't delve into that too much. Here is your link for your agent website. So you do have your own link, guys, that you can send to people for them to book. Now, it's really good if you have potential clients that know exactly what they want. It's amazing because, you know, if you've got somebody who likes to stay in the Hilton in London, for example, send them your link, they can book it themselves and you will get paid the commission. But for the vast majority of clients, obviously our USP here is the service that we're providing. So I'll be honest, it's not something that I send out. I have done a couple of times to people I know that want something specific, but as a general rule, I log onto my back office or onto the supplier site and I am doing that search work for them. Here is your commission report, so, you know, self-explanatory, and you have a customer management system inbuilt in this back office, which is incredible. Sometimes customer management systems are, you know, big investments for business owners just by themselves, and we have one inbuilt for free on your back office. So just play around with that. Again, when you click into it, it's very self-explanatory. And if you have a customer that registers through your link, so you do send your link, that's going to input all of that information in there as well. You have some quick links down here. Oh, if my computer will let me scroll down. Your customer profile form. So of course, if you have an inquiry, you can download that and you can send it to them to gather as much information as you'd like. What we have seen with some really successful agents is they've taken that as kind of a blueprint and created their own with their own branding, just as a Word document or PDF, really simple to do, and obviously a really nice touch. And then the credit card authorization form if you need it. I mean, just to look at some of those figures that you just scrolled past, what some of the agents are selling in this business. Yeah, need I say more? Incredible. And where are we? Let's go down. So this just talks about marketing, sales and tools. Very quick hover over these tabs. This is everything we've just talked about. My agency is everything you need for building your business. So rather than, obviously this is about booking travel, this is about building your business. So the print shop, your profile commissions, your link to your website, the customer management system and sales tools. We also have access to agent only fam trips. Now, we just showed you some of the photos on the team website. They are from fam trips. They are released, well, there's no rhyme or reason, to be honest, to when they're released. They're released sometimes by IntelliTravel. We know that the suppliers have some in the pipeline for us, and they are special trips for agents only, obviously, at a highly discounted rate, to be honest, because obviously you get to go. I've been to Malta and Madeira on them, and you get to go experience the resort and obviously the country, and then the idea is that you come away and you can sell that product or that destination more confidently. So do take advantage of them, because they're amazing that we have access to those.
So this next one is my favorite one, and is one of the reasons that I just love the business, is the amount, not only of the stuff that we've talked about that we do as a team, is the amount of education you can get in here. And I would click into every one of these and talk about these for an hour, because it is phenomenal. Have a real play with this, like just to familiarize yourself with the access you have to this training. Yeah. One of the reasons that you might have joined this business is to get access to this stuff, and everything is within these tabs. So your education, home, university, tutorials, partner education. I mean, it is nuts the amount of stuff that you can find. So again, have a play around those, you know, click into some of them, do some of the trainings that appeal to you. If you want to learn about Mexico, learn about it, you can find it in there.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff. This is the part where you will be doing your required UK regulatory training. So it consists of a series of videos that you must watch in their entirety. Just a little tip, don't try to fast forward them or skip them. You need to watch them all in their entirety, and you will get a kind of a green tick that means that you can then take the regulatory exam. I say exam, it's a test really of 20 questions. That means that you then are complying to things like ABTA and also customer service standards. Then the last one is help. Now, I will go into this one just again as another great troubleshooting point. This knowledge base is absolutely brilliant, because pretty much anything you can find, you can search for in here. So lots of questions that are already shown about commissions and selling and hotel bookings and all sorts of stuff. But if there's one, look at, there's hundreds of them. But if there's something in particular that you want to know about, for example, we had one recently if someone wasn't getting their emails. So if I just type in the box, email, comes up in knowledge base. Why am I not getting IntelliTravel emails? You know, just lots of questions. You will find it here, basically. Anything that relates to that query you've put. So hopefully that gives a good overview. Best advice, as I said, is just dive into this and click pretty much everything and have a really good look around. Now, look, we know this is coming thick and fast, and hopefully you're all still awake.
We said half an hour, we're trying.
But the last thing we are going to show you, and people that are just ITAs, again, feel free to stay on board and listen to this, because this is the back office that you get for Planet Marketing. So we're now talking about the team building side of the business, okay? So you will get your homepage, which has all of your information, details about lots of events. This is our black tie event in London, information about support. I mean, there's so much on here. Ordering business cards.
We do recommend ordering the business cards, because if you attend an event, they usually do a draw, a free draw, and last convention they were giving out $500 and laptops and all sorts. So they're really worth having. You have to pop your card into a hat, basically.
So this link here that I've just highlighted is an important one, because that is what you will send to people if they want to join up. They will use that link, which is specific to you, in order to do so, so that it makes sure that you get paid on getting them on board. There's an About Us tab. I will click in some of these because they don't show like the different categories. Just about us, so all of the key players. Hopefully, I'm not scrolling too fast, but some of the staff and people within the business, so you can read a bit about their background. I know that's scrolling very fast, but Planet Now, which would go to another website, which is almost like a blog, basically, of updates, events, promotions, that sort of stuff. And this is the main one, is your virtual office tab. So these do hover. Here is where most of it is located, to be honest. So my account, you can just do these things, are fairly straightforward. Your account details and login credentials, and edit your replicated website. So you can change the name of the website that you have. This one is really key for team builders to keep on an eye on. They're My Business. So make purchases to add on things like the app that you can use. your commissions, which is a really important one, which breaks down into monthly and weekly commissions, your genealogy, which is a display of people within your team, and your matrix tree. It's kind of similar, but you'll get, as you build a team, you might not have many people yet, you'll see this happening. Your order history, so people that have come on board with you. Your rank report, which is one that's really important, so that as you build, you can see where people are within your team. Details about convention, which is this month. We're going in 3 weeks, so have a look if you want to join
we're excited
in.
about that. We're presenting a training.
A non-active report, which details people in your business that haven't updated their monthly renewal. And then this is a directors tab, so you wouldn't see these ones here, basically. You wouldn't have these until you hit directors. Again, there is a getting started tab, as well as a comprehensive information center. So news, support, resources, FAQ, library, banners, presentation, business presentation, and marketing. I know I've really whizzed through that, but I was very conscious of time. But again, have a look around. If you have this, you're not going to break anything. Just play with it and see what you can find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything to add on that? And
no,
we're like bang on half an hour.
I know.
I know. Should we go back to
stop the screen share?
Stop the screen share. Let's come back on.
Okay, there is
hello.
questions.
Any other questions? Now, we will spend some time going through it, so there's lots of people on, and we want to try to help with anything we can. Sorry, there's a lot of information there, but that just gives you a feel for orientation, basically.
Exactly.
But the best bet is to dive in and have a click around and a play with it, because you can't break it.
No, you can't. And it's one of those things where you gain confidence in time with this business massively. You know, the more you do, it's one of those where it's kind of the action taking is what is really going to solidify the processes for you and the knowledge. Nobody's born a travel agent, you know, nobody. It's a learning process at the end of the day. So if you have travel experience, fantastic, but for the majority of us, we don't, and that's okay. You don't need to be an expert, guys. You will learn as you go, I promise. So
like I said, don't let it overwhelm you. Just familiarize yourself with it at your own pace. That's really, really important.
What we'll do is we'll attempt to whiz through these questions over the next 7 to 8 minutes for you. Okay.
So good question from Sarah Palmer, and I'll explain this a little bit for everyone.
Go for it.
So Sarah Palmer has said, when do we have to be careful of net and gross prices? So basically, this mostly applies when you approach hotels directly. Sometimes they will try to quote you an agent rate, sometimes called a net rate, which basically means that it's a rate that you are getting as an agent, but it doesn't include the commission. So basically, you could book it for yourself, but if you were booking it for other people and then registering it, you wouldn't get paid commission on it. A gross price, and I would clarify, and the instruction is in the team website, you ask for a commissionable rate. So they will know, it's the terminology they use, that they are giving you a price that you are quoting to your clients that includes the commission element. So that when you feed it through the booking system, register it, IntelliTravel then go and collect that money and pay you out your chunk. So net prices basically means not including.
Sorry, Alexa off. Alexa, stop. Anyone else got an Alexa, they just go off at the most random times.
She's listening. She's always listening.
Cheers.
Net pricing means it doesn't include commission, basically. Okay. Joe Robbins said to me, search for flights, but it either says no flights available or it shows £10 per person. Do I need to register somewhere else to be able to book flights? Everything showing at £10 per person sounds wrong.
Sounds
without knowing the specific issue, it's hard to say.
Joe, can you message
me directly. I'm happy to have a look at that. It might be that needs to be something that needs to be fed to customer services, but that doesn't sound right. So it doesn't sound like you're doing anything wrong. It just sounds like something's not quite going right with your searches. We do have access to a flight consolidator company. So what they do is they will go and find good price on flights. They're called Skybird, and the details again
are
quite
good as well.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Even if it doesn't come up with the price that you are hoping for, should we say, initially on their website, actually, if you message them, we know of many cases where they've gone away, matched a price or got a really good price for a client and fed that back.
And just a heads up, I suppose, on flights, guys, the low cost European short haul providers just don't pay commission or pay much commission. It's the fact of it. You all know from booking EasyJet or Ryanair, those prices fluctuate, and they are so good at, they make a very fine margin on those that they don't tend to really have much agency business, full stop, not just from us. But
that's important. It's not just us. That's I
wouldn't get too bogged down. Say, for example, someone wants to go to Spain. My advice, and I think our advice would be, absolutely work with them to find them their amazing accommodation, their activities, their transfers. But alongside that advice you're giving them, to be quite honest with you, if it's a flight that's going to be 40 quid, they are maybe just as good off booking it for themselves, because there's not an awful lot on those short
you
flights.
Might want to do it from a service point of view. And also, if you're looking at I'll just say it out there, my favorite supplier currently is Major Travel. If any of you have so far got into Major Travel system, it is incredible. And I tell you what, their pricing on like packages, because you can package up a Spain holiday there with the flights and the hotel, and you're going to get 12% commission. Their pricing is just insane. Yeah. We literally booked for, Terry said we're going to convention next month in Florida for Planet Marketing side of the business, and we wanted to stay, it's Terry's dad's 60th. Trying not to waffle on too much here. It's his dad's 60th, and they wanted to stay somewhere special. So we said, we'll look at the Four Seasons. Well, in Disney, it's a fortune normally, isn't it? And Major Travel, I actually posted about it, and I shared it in the TTT travel group, because Major Travel were over £3,000 cheaper. And we just did some quotes, didn't we, for Bali and for Malta. And we absolutely blew other prices out of the park, like really good.
For any of you that don't know them, have a look at Major. You will get your access. It's an individual login, but Major Travel are an agent and industry only supplier. So that's probably why you wouldn't have heard of them before you joined, but really they are phenomenal, and they have a fantastic customer service team. So
Shanti, a lady called Shanti. I know, she's so lovely though, and she looks after all the IntelliTravel agents. She's an absolute gem.
Vicky's asked if the password for Team Travel, that's exactly right. So thank you for putting that in there. That's dead on, Vicky.
I am looking for a package holiday for clients. Which tab on the booking engine port do I use? Hotels. So Kylie, all packages are external, because the booking engine is individual elements. So if you're looking for a package, you need to look on, obviously TUI is about to be relaunched. And so if you're already going to ask us about that, don't panic. That's all in hand. So you're going to have TUI, we've got Newmarket, they do packages, we've got Major Travel,
Red Sea Holidays,
Olympic. So you need to use an external supplier for the packages.
But again, those instructions are all but they're in your back office, but they're a good place to find those is possibly our team website. Because there are some great providers. And for example, Red Sea Holidays, they niche on, guess what? Package holidays around the Red Sea.
They're really good as well.
We've just had a webinar last week from a company called Transun, who do packages to Lapland. So we're getting these suppliers on board that really specialise in their own area. And I suppose it's your job as agents to familiarise yourself. And again, don't worry, it's not going to be overnight, but with who is best for those different requirements.
And use the TTT travel group for help with that. If you have a client or a potential client, a friend, a family member say, I want, I don't know what it might be, a safari. Go into TTT travel group, search the word safari, and you're going to find loads of recommendations. And if there isn't the recommendation there or the answer that you want, post in there, because you're going to have over 2,500 travel agents helping you with recommendations, which is like, it's an incredible tool.
Good question from Tony, and actually I'll clarify this about using preferred suppliers, or can you contact other package providers? So you can contact any hotel or resort.
Yeah.
That's because they will recognise the credentials that we have, and you can get a commissionable rate. But what you can't do is go to any travel supplier. The reason is because the commercial terms need to be agreed by IntelliTravel and the company, because otherwise IntelliTravel ain't going to be able to collect the commission on it. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So when IntelliTravel launch a supplier, it means that they have agreed commercial terms, they've agreed a commission rate, and it means that they have a process in place that that we can use them, and also that you get paid your commission.
Yeah.
If you went to some companies, they might say, yeah, we'll work with you, but they wouldn't be able to pay you, basically.
We're going to whiz through these, guys, only because we have another call in a moment as well. How do you choose the name for your website from iPad 2? You can select that however you like. Do you know what? Mine, to begin with, was just Chanel Fry. Chanel Fry Travel. You know, you can develop a brand name. There's no rush for that. And I think that's actually a really good point, because it's quite a sticking point for people. People almost procrastinate at that step, because it's, you know, you want it to be right, and you want it to be, you know, all looking good and everything and branded, but don't dwell too much on this is, I suppose, more of a coaching tip, but don't dwell too much on the finer details, because the main thing is that you take action and you start plugging into, you know, the webinars and your business, and finding clients and potential team members if you're team building, and all of those little details, they kind of come as, you know, as your business grows.
So Sarah had asked a couple of questions about encrypting of information. Now, provided you are following the GDPR guidance, I think that's what you're referring to, that's set out in the back office, you're okay. You can go out and get encryption, and I'm not a cybersecurity expert at all, but actually, provided you're following the instructions that are given, you are GDPR compliant. It was a big issue of us making sure that we are, but basically just don't hold information that you don't have to, and some of the information for clients will be held in the IntelliTravel CRM, but they have the option to opt out of stuff, which is the important thing.
Under that regulatory training that you all have to do to be able to sell travel in the UK, that is covered. Everything is covered in there. So as long as we adhere to the compliance, you're covered.
Fine, yeah.
You haven't got anything to worry about.
Insurance isn't a good question. Basically, as you guys are starting out, you don't really need to worry about insurances, honestly.
This isn't our answer. This is from
this is from corporate. Basically, because you are covered under things like ABTA's client protection, that actually it's IntelliTravel that have to cover anything going wrong. What you could do, and again, this is the guidance, if you began selling lots and lots and lots of travel, as we hope you do, you might want to, for your own use, look at taking out things like personal indemnity insurance and stuff like that. But for now, honestly, you are covered well enough by IntelliTravel for anything. And I think that leads into your second question about sort of compensation and like complaints. That is all absolutely in place, because as an ABTA registered company, it has to be. Customer care and resolution are all really key points. So hopefully that covers that without going into too much detail.
Galaxy's asking about car hire. Car hire, I mean, obviously, unless you're booking maybe like a motorhome for a month or two, it's not a booking that's going to get you a lot.
But have a look at affordable car hire as well.
Yeah, they are really,
they have
really
got good pricing in general.
So if it's a service point of view, but there's not a great deal in car hire. We would mainly recommend that as like an add-on for somebody.
Kylie's asked about registering as a sole trader for HMRC. So I'm not. We can't really give tax advice, but the advice that I can give is look, check HMRC. But ultimately, anything you earn through this is income. As such, it needs to be declared. How you set that up is entirely up to you. So you don't need to think about setting up a limited company. In fact, you don't need to think about that until you make a lot more money. But you could do it as a self-employed which is a fairly easy tax return.
Okay.
But have a look at HR MRC guidance.
I'm really aware of how long.
We've got some good questions.
Do we need insurance? We've covered that. Major travel have a 4,000 request backlog. It's not quite that extent. There is a slight backlog, but we barely have that amount of agents in the UK, and lots of agents have been in the business for a couple of years. So there is a backlog. It might be a couple of hundred or so. It's not quite that big, Tony, but don't worry, you will all get it. I promise you will all get it. How can anyone book a package holiday on your website if they're all external? I've had two, they can't. That's our job as an independent travel agent to provide that service and to do that.
Absolutely.
Now, what I will say is coming soon is our own ATOL certificate. Now, what's going to happen with that, this has been made very clear by corporate, is we are going to have an ability to package on the back office. So it will be a cart system where you can add different elements onto the back office. So it is coming, but at the moment, you know, and do you know what, to be honest, even then I would still say, as a business owner, and what's going to set you apart from just being like a booking engine or a website is providing that service, looking after your client, finding out what they want, and taking that service element away, you know, from them. That's I suppose in essence what we do as travel agents. So I hope that helps.
Well, I've messed up. So I don't know where I was. Sorry. Lisa, can I take my laptop on holiday and sell anywhere as long as based in the UK? Yes, and actually you can sell travel globally.
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't have to be UK based travel, so you can sell wherever you like.
No worries, Sarah. Sarah said thank you. I like to share these things. Absolutely. So Monique, you guys to, you know, get it and be happy and know what you're doing. That's
Monique
fine.
has asked about booking flights with Skyscanner, and actually we get this question a lot. So remember that Skyscanner is basically a comparison website. It brings in pricing from lots of different places.
Yeah.
So Skyscanner is never bookable anyway. What Skyscanner does, it points you to a supplier which you can then book through. So no, you can't book through Skyscanner. No. What Skyscanner is great for is for you to do your research about who flies to where. For example, if you've got some regional airports, where do they fly to?
Tool,
yeah, like more like a tool. And also remember that pricing on Skyscanner, although you might put in your requirements, it rarely includes baggage, for example. They often put on additional costs. So seating sometimes costs extra. Skyscanner will give you the basic pricing of any flight, but it's a good tool to understand times and airports and that sort of stuff.
A few more.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for staying on tonight's call. I can't believe we maxed it out. That's amazing. And really good questions. Really, really good questions. I'm sure those of you that have asked questions have helped lots of other people tonight as well.
So I'm messing up with my clicking here big time. Sorry. So Katrina has asked about our price matching. So the pricing guarantee or assurance is that stuff that is booked through the back office, if it's cheaper at the time of booking and we're comparing like for like, that IntelliTravel will give 110% of the difference back. Most of our suppliers will also will offer, and they will say when they launch, price parity, so that it is not more expensive for us. In fact, lots of them offer the same price as a customer could get on a website. But what you've got to remember is that they are including our commission. The point is, I suppose, say, for example, you get a fairly vague request of, I don't know, I want to go somewhere hot. Let's use the Red Sea area, for example. You have tools to get access to different pricing that your clients might not have. And you also eventually will have the expertise to offer them, which is the service that you're providing. Some of our suppliers, so TUI, for example, when they're back online, will get the same pricing as they do in their stores, but matching to TUI if someone found it online, like a special deal, or if they had a discount voucher, no, but not even the people that work in their stores.
Yeah, they don't have that within their own business.
So yeah, stuff booked on the back office, absolutely. We have a price assurance that the pricing is great, and it is. And most of our third-party suppliers will have at least price parity to like their commercial channels. But people like Major Travel, as I said, don't sell to consumers. No. They sell to,
and honestly, they're amazing. So I always go to them first. A couple of questions about logins, guys. For all your login details, head to the team website. Yeah. Everything is on there. There's too many for us to go through tonight, but everything's on there. And look, if you don't understand something, or you are getting stuck, or whatever it might be, like we said, please don't suffer in silence. We want you to embrace the business, enjoy it, be excited, and obviously you will get to know everything. So take your own time about it. Don't worry, and use the support around you.
Yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of your upline, I would always go to your upline first, the person that sponsored you into the business. And if they don't know, or they can't help, or they're not around, then reach out to their upline if you're in a team chat or something like that. And if not, use the groups. Our details are on the website, so you can contact us on those channels as well, on Facebook or whatever it might be. And yeah, we're really excited that you've joined. So I think we'll wrap it up there, because I know that you guys have probably more questions. Please do go to your uplines for those, and hopefully we've answered kind of a big chunk and burning questions that you all.
So we have to rattle through it a bit, as I said. But like Cheryl said, have a play around with those websites with your back office. Enjoy what you're doing. That's the point. Yeah. It's like really get some of the training done, some of the education that IntelliTravel provide, and yeah, you'll love it. But don't ever feel overwhelmed, like I said right at the start.
There's no rush with anything that you do. This is your own business. You can take your own time. There's loads of support, and I'm loving seeing all the comments coming in, people saying they're really excited. We're really excited as well. It's great timing. We've been in the business, as we said, 2 years, and we've seen a lot of progression, and this really feels, we keep saying it's like a launch phase because of the continuous development and supplier announcement. So keep an eye on your emails, stay plugged into the team around you so that you are aware when a new supplier is launching and when a webinar is, and just, most of all, enjoy your business, enjoy your new business. So we're going to leave it there.
Yep.
Thank you so much for jumping on tonight.
Filling up the call tonight.
Yeah, amazing. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you all in the team groups and chats and stuff like that, and hopefully at an event if you come to one of those soon. So take care, everyone.
Have a great evening, guys.
Good night.
Thanks
Bye,
a lot.
guys.
Bye. We got some waves from people. See ya.
Bye, guys.